Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is 10 to Life, where we are talking everything true crime. And oh my gosh, you guys, I've got a case for you today. I am so confused by it. It is truly a mystery. It's one that's happening right now. And what is so bizarre about this is it's so twisty and mysterious. And there is not a single Facebook group that has been created on this, which is shocking if you're in the true crime community. You understand why. But there's also so many questions about it. And so I would think, oh, obviously there's going to be Reddit forums, there's going to be Facebook groups. Nothing yet. Very, very little. So, I mean, whoever creates that Facebook group is going to probably go bananas. But it is one of the more mysterious cases that we have talked about in a while. And like I said, it is happening right now and it is ongoing. So I'm going to be very curious to know what you make of it, because there are tons of red flags, guys. And you know that's what we do here. We see all the red flags and we start calling them out and being like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Guys, nothing in this case makes sense. So let's jump right in.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
Debbie Collier is a 59-year-old woman who lives in Athens, Georgia. Debbie works as a front office manager at Carriage House Realty in Athens, and she has worked here for many years. In 2013, Debbie married a man by the name of Steven, and the two of them lived together in Athens with their 36-year-old daughter, Amanda. On Friday, September 9th, it was a typical Friday evening. Debbie and Steve turned in for the evening, and they went to bed in separate bedrooms. Now, before you get all crazy here and be like, why are they sleeping in separate bedrooms? They got married in 2013. There must be, marriage on the rocks, whatever. Steve apparently is known to be a very loud snorer, that's a hard word to say. So because of this, they reportedly sleep in separate bedrooms, which I can relate. My husband snores so loud, so I just kick him and shove him every single time trying to wake him up. Anyways, so they sleep in separate bedrooms, but not for any other reason that we know of besides the snoring. So then the next morning, on Saturday, September 10th, Steve woke up early to go to work for the day. He didn't see his wife, Debbie, and it's unclear if she was still sleeping inside her room, but he assumed so because he did see her rented SUV parked in the driveway. Now, Debbie had rented a black Chrysler Pacifica through Enterprise because her car had recently been in an accident. And Debbie also reportedly had been suffering from a very bad back and couldn't really walk far, but it's unclear if that was caused by the accident. So what happened next would absolutely haunt everybody in the community, and it has created many, many more questions than answers. Steve was off at work, and it's unclear what happened during those early morning hours of Saturday morning and early afternoon. However, later in the day, Debbie's daughter Amanda got a Venmo notification on her phone that she had received a very specific sum of money along with a very bizarre, out-of-character message attached to the incoming funds. The sender of the money was her mom, Debbie. And Debbie sent her daughter Amanda a total of $2,385 via Venmo at 3:17 p.m. Now, when you send money on Venmo, there is a memo box where you are given the option to write a note or a memo indicating what the money is for. So in Debbie's memo to Amanda, she wrote, "They are not going to let me go. Love you. There is a key to the house underneath a blue flower pot by the door." Now, this cryptic and alarming message, of course, sent Amanda into a complete panic. Why was her mom sending her this money? Why was she sending such a specific amount? And who is the they that she is referring to that won't let her go? So Amanda tried calling her mother, of course, after receiving this cryptic message and transfer. However, her mom didn't answer the call. And it was then that Amanda reported her mother as missing to Athens Clark County Police. So Debbie's disappearance stunned her daughter and her husband Steve, since she had not done anything like this before. She never just wandered off and never said where she was going. She never sent these cryptic messages and sent money for no reason. It wasn't making sense. She also didn't have any other family members in the area that she could have gone and been visiting. So where was she? Amanda told police that her mother also didn't have any history of mental health issues and denied that she had ever experienced thoughts of taking her own life. So all of this, seemingly, was extremely out of character for Debbie. What was going on here? Was this a kidnapping? Was this a robbery gone wrong? What happened to her? And the circumstances surrounding Debbie's disappearance weren't only odd due to the strange Venmo transfer and the message with it, but Amanda also told investigators that all Debbie left the house with that morning was her debit card and her driver's license. Why did she leave her other belongings behind? And if she did that also mean that she left her phone behind? And if so, whose phone was she using to make that transfer? So a desperate search was launched for Debbie, and authorities began pinging the rented car that she had to see if they could locate the vehicle via the Sirius XM satellite radio feature. And luckily, the very next morning, around 12:30 p.m., they were able to track the location of the car because of that satellite radio. And this led investigators to a location 60 miles north of her home in Athens, Georgia. The rented SUV was tracked down to GA 15 northbound in the area of Victory Home Lane, Clarksville. Okay, everybody, so today is Thursday's video. Currently it's Wednesday, but I gotta upload it, I gotta record it, all of that. So when you see this, it'll be Thursday, which means we are announcing the winner of the iPhone 14 Pro Max that I am giving away. So if you missed that whole thing, which sorry if you did, but if you missed that whole thing, I was running a giveaway to give away an iPhone 14 because I have my new iPhone 14 and I'm like obsessed with it. And all you had to do was subscribe to the channel and comment on one of my videos, a specific video that I mentioned, in order to be entered into the giveaway. So everybody had time to enter through Tuesday. It is now Wednesday. Let me just show you on here. Sorry, you can see my little kiddos, but it's 8:55 a.m. on Wednesday. If you can see the date, I guess it's kind of blurry, I don't know. But it's 8:55 a.m. on Wednesday, so we are going to pick a winner. And what I'm going to do to pick this winner, because there are so many comments and I want to make sure that it is fair, is I am using a site that actually generates all of the comments that are left on the video and then randomly chooses one. And I'm going to do a screen share with you guys so that you guys can see that this is totally fair, totally legit, not a scam. And let's share the screen now. So as you can see, it goes through all of the comments here. Because there are so many on this video, it's going to take a few minutes. So just be patient because I want to share the entire process from start to finish. I don't want to jump cut anything because I want you guys to see that this is, really how it all goes down. And so that there's, of course, no opportunity for people to be like, oh, there's cheating, or oh, she picked a certain person. So we're just going to kind of hang together as this, chooses and filters through all the comments. All right, so Carol Lee, congratulations. You are the winner of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So in order to claim your prize, your reward, what I need you to do is email me at 10tolifeinfo@gmail.com. Let me know that you were the winner. Guys, if you're trying to be shady and pretend you're Carol Lee, I've already got a vetting process in place, so don't even try it. It's not going to work because there will be verification. But email me, let me know that you're the winner so that we can go through the verification, I can get your shipping address, and boom, I will ship you off your iPhone 14 Pro Max this week. Thank you to everybody for entering the giveaway. I love doing these things, so I'm going to do more of them. So make sure that you're always checking back because you never know when I'm going to drop one. And also let me know kind of what it is you guys want me to do for my next giveaway. I was thinking, Visa gift card, Amazon gift card, maybe a flat screen, maybe another phone, maybe a camera. I don't know. So let me know what you guys would be find most useful, or if it's just cash and I could just Venmo you, or I don't know, we'll figure it out. So check back because I'm going to do a lot more of these in the next few weeks and months. Now that we have picked the winner, congratulations, Carol Lee, and let's jump back into today's case. So investigators get to the scene and they see the vehicle. It's near a very wooded area, which of course is never a good sign. And as they call in the deputy, Amanda shows up, hysterical. Now, apparently, the sheriff or one of the police officers had told Amanda that they were able to successfully ping the phone, and they told her an approximate location. Now, I don't know if it was an exact location or just a rough estimate, and then she was driving along the highway looking herself. But as they called in the deputy before they even began their search in this specific area, Amanda arrived on the scene and she was reportedly hysterical. And that is a direct quote from the affidavit, which I read. So she was shouting that the car that was pulled over on the side of the road belonged to her mother. So when the police had come across this rented black Chrysler Pacifica, they noted that the vehicle was completely empty, with absolutely no remnants of Debbie's clothing or any indication of where the car had been traveling to or from. There was also nothing to determine whether she was in the car with somebody else or if she was in the car on her own. So police accompanied by canines approached the wooded area off the road. Soon they found traces of a fire. Nearby the fire, they found a red tote bag and a blue burned tarp. And this was, kind of hidden away backed through the brush. After the discovery of the items, investigators launched a homicide probe and frantically searched the nearby woods with that canine unit. As they approached one area, they looked further down a sloped embankment where the investigator saw 59-year-old Debbie's naked and burned body. Debbie Collier's body was found in a small, steep-sided ravine near the wooded area. She had been burned, and her remains were charred, particularly on her abdomen. She was also laying on her back, nude, and grasping a small tree with her right hand. Just an absolutely horrible scene and horrible crime. This woman holding on to the small tree with one hand, nude, charred, deceased. Horrifying. So Amanda reminded investigators of her mother having her bad back, saying she would not have voluntarily ventured into this wooded area where she was found on her own. So who would have taken Debbie in there? And more importantly, why?
Tonight, a murder mystery is unfolding across several Georgia counties. A woman from Athens is found dead in Habersham County. Police are treating her death as a homicide as police reveal what her daughter says was her mom's final disturbing message to her.
Yeah, that's right. And 11 Alive John Sherrick is tracking down those details right now.
Public statements from the sheriff's office, still few and terse, a week after the body of 59-year-old Debbie Collier of Athens was found here Sunday afternoon, September 11th, the day after she disappeared from home. She was found near her SUV in these woods off of US 441 in Habersham County. All evidence so far, the sheriff's office tells us, indicates this was a homicide, and that's all investigators will say. They recovered her body and possible clues and secured her SUV, the SUV she had rented because her own car was in the shop. Investigators now digging into her family's disturbing missing person report from Saturday the 10th. The report saying that Collier had left home in Athens sometime that Saturday in her rented SUV. Collier's daughter, Amanda Bearden, told Athens Clarke County Police that afternoon her mother had suddenly sent her more than $2,000 through Venmo, along with a message to her daughter, quote, "They are not going to let me go. Love you." Why would Debbie Collier have left her home in Athens? Why would she have gone to Habersham County, 60 miles from home? Debbie Collier had worked for years for a realty business in Athens Clarke County. She was the front office manager. No one there was available to speak about her. So far, Debbie Collier's family members have declined to respond to interview requests about her, as investigators work to uncover who might have been threatening her, why she ended up here, and who killed her and why.
Given the information we have, many are suggesting that this actually might be a more sinister situation and that things just are not adding up. A prior arrest on the daughter Amanda's record has also raised many questions. Starting with that, a little over a year ago on August 17th, 2021, Amanda was allegedly arrested in neighboring Franklin County for possession of a controlled substance, which many are saying was meth. Now, we all know that just because there might be a history of, or even ongoing, really, struggle with addiction, that doesn't automatically equate to murder, not by any stretch. However, there are several other red flags I noticed when looking at the bones of this case that make me wonder if somebody close to Debbie may have been involved, not saying her daughter Amanda, but somebody closer to her. Red flag number 1. If Debbie had access to her phone and could readily use it, why would she use it to send money to her daughter and type a lengthy memo? Why not use those 90 seconds or more that it would take to get the phone, to sign into Venmo, to find the recipient, to type in the amount, to then type in the memo, to then say send and confirm? I mean, that's at least 90 seconds. So why not use that 90 seconds or more to call the police or to post on your Facebook, which Debbie was very active on, and post that she was abducted or post her location? If she had a phone to send money via Venmo, that takes so much longer to do something like dialing 911. Something is just not right there. So then I started thinking, okay, well, if the abductor allowed her to use her phone to say send him the money, and she did a bait and switch and sent it to her daughter instead in a last-ditch effort to notify her family what was happening, knowing that she was going to be killed anyway, possibly. However, I don't see the abductor not watching over her to make sure that the money transfer was executed correctly. If money was so important to this person, and if that was the motive for abducting her, you would think that that would be their primary focus. Ensuring that they got the money would be priority. So they would be watching her to make sure she's not up to anything shady, but also that they are getting that money and it's being received. Red flag number 2, Amanda, remember, told police that her mom left home with only her debit card and her driver's license. So first of all, how would she know that? How would she know exactly what her mother left with that morning, unless she saw Debbie's remaining belongings left behind at their home, say her purse with her phone in it or a notebook or whatever it was, and then she would say, oh, the only things missing are her debit card and her ID, that's all she left with. Sure, but if that's the case, again, whose phone was she using? So I don't think that this is true, and I think that Debbie had her phone with her, because the Venmo was sent from Debbie's account. Now, if you have Venmo or any other cash transferring, receiving apps, you probably know that if you ever log out of your account and log back in, whether it's your device or another device, it makes you go through a steep verification process. Usually, they will text you a 6-digit code to your phone, and then they have you enter that code in the app as a security measure to prove that it's really you. So if Debbie were to log into her Venmo account on somebody else's phone, she would still need that code to verify, and she would only be able to get that code if she had access to her cell phone because it comes via text message. So this makes me believe that the Venmo was in fact sent from her device, meaning that she had her phone with her, or the suspect had her phone with him or her. So my question is, has the phone been recovered? Were the officers told that Debbie only left home with her driver's license and debit card because the phone was later disposed of and it needed to be explained as to why it wasn't on Debbie's person or why it wasn't in the house? Red flag number 3. In that memo, Debbie tells Amanda where the spare key is. But we were also told that Amanda lived with Debbie and Steve. So why would she need a spare key? Why would she need to know where the spare key was to get into the house if she lived with them? Unless the relationship was bad in this moment and Amanda no longer had access to the house. And if that's the case, could the spare key part of that message with Venmo have been added in there as a layer, as a reason to explain why Amanda would have access to the house later on? Now, I want to also say this though. It was common for Debbie to Venmo Amanda. She did it several times throughout the last few weeks, as you can see here. However, the only transactions that I was able to see date back to August 2nd. Nothing before August 2nd, and with no other recipients. And this particular Venmo exchange was obviously extremely odd given the amount and the memo attached to it, especially when you look at it in comparison to the other outgoing transfers that went to Amanda from her mother. Lastly, Debbie was found partially burned, which leads me to believe that somebody was trying to tamper with evidence and perhaps conceal evidence. So if this is just a kidnapping or a robbery gone wrong, why was she nude and why was she partially burned? Unless that was done strategically to throw people off. So I'd be interested to know if her phone was recovered, what the recent call log was, and more information about those closest to her. Something is just not adding up here, guys, and what do you guys think? What do you think the motive was behind this? Who do you think was involved? How do you explain the Venmo? Do you guys have another reason as to why she would send this Venmo with that message and why she would send it to her daughter? I get why she wouldn't send it to her husband because it looks like they shared an account. They share Facebook. It looks like they shared a Venmo account as well because the name is Steve Collier on it. But things just aren't making sense. Regardless, I hope that whoever this cold-blooded, sick monster is quickly identified so that justice can be served, because I can't imagine what was going through Debbie's head in the last moments of her life. So let me know what you guys think. As I mentioned, there are just so many questions and red flags in this case, so I'm going to be paying extra close attention to it. And I would imagine that we are going to start getting new bits and pieces of information soon, because generally things like this can't stay quiet for very long, and if there is something more sinister going on with members closer to her, that usually has a way of surfacing pretty quickly. So I'm going to follow this closely, guys, and I will keep you updated. But please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you think behind all of this, the entire crime, the actions, the past, everything. Just let me know, and I will keep you updated. All right, guys, until the next case, stay safe. Bye.